There is nowhere else on Earth as extraordinary as this, a remote and isolated territory where nature reveals itself in a magnificent and distinctive manner, filled with unfathomable secrets. It resembles an immense masterpiece, carefully brushed by the divine hand, where every creature bears the unmistakable signature of a miraculous and wholly exceptional design. What profound enigmas lie beneath these beings that display the imprint of boundless imagination? Let us journey together across these vast expanses and heed the remarkable tales that have never been told. Welcome to Australia, a realm of unyielding hunters and breathtaking vistas that surpass all imagination. Situated alone in the southern half of the globe, Australia is the most arid inhabited continent and the sixth largest nation by land area worldwide, covering roughly 2.97 million square miles of sheer variety. This enormous region is distinguished by the remarkable diversity of its terrains, where nature appears in countless vivid and contrasting forms. From the blistering heat of the sprawling red deserts to the dense green moisture of the luxuriant rainforests, from the chill gusts sweeping across the lofty eastern mountain ranges to the salty, sharp air of the endless golden shores that extend for nearly 37,282 miles. The very severity of the environment and the unceasing shifts in climate gave rise to a rich natural tableau, where animal species had to develop in extraordinary ways to adjust to an ever-changing world. Clear's throat, in GT. Australia shelters over 80% of its mammals, 45% of its birds, and 93% of its reptiles as endemic species, music found nowhere else on the globe. These singular creatures survived and evolved through millions of years of separation. This is not merely a dwelling place, but a magnificent theater for the grand performances of life, carefully conducted by the unseen hand of the Creator. Commencing our grand expedition through the lush ecosystems of this land, we arrive at the vibrant core of the continent, the desert and parched grasslands, where nature's severity seems to reach its dramatic zenith. This zone covers about 35% of Australia's total surface. By day, scorching heat punishes the earth, and by night, piercing cold descends swiftly, posing relentless trials for existence. The cracked soil and plumes of red dust rising from the ground are stark reminders of the climate's unyielding power. Yet it is precisely that extreme harshness that turns these seemingly uninhabitable plains into the ideal home for an iconic creature, the kangaroo. The red kangaroo is the most abundant and largest, music, among all kangaroo species, a genuine giant of the open country. They boast an impressive stature, in GT, music, in GT, reaching up to 5.9 feet in height and about 198 pounds in weight, especially the adult males that dominate the terrain. Their reddish-brown fur not only stands out beautifully against the ochre desert backdrop, but also aids in temperature regulation under the blazing sun, reflecting some of the heat. With powerful muscular hind legs and a long sturdy tail that provides balance when leaping, they can cover astonishing distances, music, of up to 29.5 feet in a single bound. This ability is not merely a demonstration of remarkable strength, but also an efficient evolutionary tactic to conserve vital energy and endure in arid conditions where resources are widely scattered. Each bound of the kangaroo seems like a rhythmic dance in tune with the earth, displaying extraordinary adaptation to the challenges of Australian nature. Living in groups, also called mobs, kangaroos are not just solitary individuals but an interconnected society. Within the group, they often maintain intricate and hierarchical social bonds, where larger and more powerful individuals typically assume leadership and protective functions. In seasons of extended drought, when water and food become scarce and precious, kangaroo groups often travel tens to hundreds of miles in search of music resources to endure. The largest and most seasoned kangaroos generally take the lead, using their memory and experience to locate moist areas and remaining grazing grounds. This enables the group to survive harsh periods and sustain the cycle of life in the arid and unforgiving regions of the continent. During mating rituals, male kangaroos frequently battle fiercely to gain leadership or attract a mate. These contests are generally intense and spectacular, with two kangaroos using their hind legs to deliver forceful kicks to each other's chest and abdomen, while the tail serves as a tripod for balance. Powerful kicks can cause serious harm, but they are also a necessary means of demonstrating strength, vitality, and asserting their dominant status within the social structure. For the female kangaroo, the abdominal pouch, or marsupium, is not merely a physical place to rear the joey, but also a profound emblem of protection and sacrifice, as if it were the creator's loving embrace, always shielding the most fragile and defenseless creatures. When the outside world becomes hostile and perilous, the pouch is the only safe and warm refuge for the developing joey, keeping it distant from danger, predators, and severe weather, allowing it to grow in safety. The female kangaroo tends to and guards the joey tirelessly with absolute devotion until it is strong and mature enough to face the trials of the dry lands on its own. More than a national emblem, the kangaroo is a vital and irreplaceable component of Australia's distinctive ecosystem. With its grass and shrub-based diet, it helps regulate excessive plant growth, preventing biomass buildup that could lead to devastating wildfires. While foraging and moving, kangaroos create small depressions in the soil that trap rainwater and serve as shelters for insects and small animals. Furthermore, they contribute to seed dispersal through their droppings, actively aiding the regeneration of native flora. As fundamental prey for predators like dingoes and large eagles, kangaroos sustain the natural food web and help prevent soil erosion with their light, springy jumps that reduce impact on the fragile terrain. Free and GT. Often mistaken for kangaroos due to their similar appearance, the small wallabies also possess remarkable strength and unique agility. They resemble their larger cousins in shape, but are smaller, nimbler, and far more adept in rough terrains. With a compact body averaging between 17.7 inches and 3.3 feet in height, wallabies chose their own evolutionary route, where open plains give way to steep rocky mountains and rugged landscapes. With each precise leap, the wallaby can cover a distance of up to 9.8 feet, nearly 3 times its own height. Its powerful hind legs, built for explosive force, allow it to move with astounding agility among rocky crevices and cliffs, like a true-born dancer of the highlands. In each bound, there seems to be a unique harmony with the rough terrain, as if every stone had been carefully positioned by the creator for the wallaby to spring upon without hesitation. The wallaby is not only physically distinctive for its agility, but also possesses a remarkable survival strategy in its diet. Unlike kangaroos, which are primarily grazers, they are highly versatile feeders, acting as browsers. They consume everything from tough leaves and grasses to occasional small fruits and roots they discover along the way. This varied and opportunistic diet allows wallabies to endure periods of critical scarcity when the land becomes dry and resources are limited. But the wallaby goes further, possessing an enigmatic and effective alert method against predators. Upon detecting danger, it does not immediately flee in panic. Instead, it remains still, emits a soft warning hiss and snort, and gently but firmly stomps its hind legs on the ground, as if it were a rhythmic alarm drum for other group members to sense the approaching threat. And just like its larger relatives, the female wallaby also possesses a protective abdominal pouch, a secret space where she nurtures and guards her joey from premature birth. The tiny joey, weighing just 0.035 ounces and blind at birth, finds its way alone through the fur to the mother's pouch, where it remains sheltered, fed, and safe from all external dangers until it is strong and mature enough to leap and explore the outside world. On solid ground, the wallaby moves only by jumping, using both hind legs simultaneously to conserve kinetic energy. But upon encountering water, it reveals another hidden skill. It transforms into an expert swimmer, moving each leg nimbly and independently, to cross rivers and small wetlands. Strength does not always come from imposing size. The small yet powerful legs of the wallaby continue leaping over dangerous obstacles, music maintaining the steady beat of the vibrant symphony of this wild land. From the rocky and steep areas where wallabies reside, our journey now takes us to the vast plains, dry forests, and endless deserts of the Australian interior, the famous outback. These expansive and arid red lands represent one of the most extreme and demanding environments on the continent. During the day, temperatures can reach a suffocating 122 degrees Fahrenheit, with the deep red-stained desert floor radiating heat. But amid this wild and challenging landscape, there is a creature that adapted masterfully and established itself as an undisputed apex predator, the dingo. The dingo is the characteristic wild native dog of this land, a symbol of Australian fauna. However, its exact classification as a species or subspecies remains a matter of ongoing scientific debate. Did you know about this taxonomic curiosity? With a slender, athletic, and resilient build, the dingo averages 23.6 inches in height and weighs between 28.7 and 39.7 pounds. Its short ginger or reddish fur helps it blend perfectly into the arid, sandy ground, allowing it to remain unnoticed by prey and move like a phantom. Keen smell and sharp vision adapted for hunting are valuable assets that aid in daily survival. The dingo is a consummate master of the hunt, with patient stalking skills and a precise, lethal attack technique. It hunts everything, demonstrating its versatility, from small rodents, rabbits, and lizards to larger and more dangerous prey like kangaroos with terrifying accuracy. In hunts for large kangaroos, dingoes often organize cooperative packs, moving with agility and strategic coordination like a well-drilled army. Experienced leaders block the calculated escape routes while other members surround the prey, gradually reducing its speed, exhausting it, and steering it toward an inevitable trap. When the prey is exhausted and stops to defend itself, the group of dingoes acts in perfect harmony, each playing a specific role to bite, immobilize, and bring down prey much larger than themselves. The survival instinct in arid conditions taught the dingo not only to hunt efficiently, but also to endure long periods of scarcity. It is capable of feeding on carcasses as a scavenger and obtaining scarce needed water directly from the bodily fluids of its food. In the harshness of this land, dingoes are not just solitary predators, but a strong and united community that shares food and protects one another from external threats. It is the social group lifestyle that allows dingoes to survive and excel, as true masters of this wild region. However, the relationship between the dingo and human, beings has always been complex and ambivalent. For Indigenous Australian peoples, ancestral guardians of the land, the dingo is not merely a wild creature, but also a companion, a profound cultural and spiritual symbol. They consider it part of a sacred world, recounting ancient stories about its loyalty, intelligence, and skill. Yet, while Indigenous people respect and revere the dingo, it is viewed as a pest and a threat by modern livestock farmers who have witnessed attacks on their flocks of sheep and cattle. This conflict of interest has persisted for centuries, making the dingo both a revered cultural icon and a target for hunting and population control. Under the Creator's gaze, they also carry a vital ecological mission. More than merely adapted to relentless nature, dingoes developed as an essential and regulatory part of the ecosystem. They maintain ecological balance by controlling populations of native and introduced prey and preventing excessive growth of certain species that could harm the environment. Among the dry and dusty winds of the interior plateau, we are entering the territory of one of the most unique birds, the emu. This is the second largest bird in the world by height, second only to the African ostrich. The emu is like a delicate and resilient gift from the Creator to this arid and vast land. As an important national cultural symbol, the emu appears proudly on the coat of arms and coins of Australia and features in mythological stories of the dreamtime of Indigenous peoples, passed, orally from generation to generation. The emu's running ability is an extraordinary, music, survival technique in its primary defense. Its long, music, strong, and muscular legs allow it to reach impressive speeds of up to 31 miles per hour, helping it escape from predators and, music, cross vast nomadic areas in search of food and water. Notably, during seasons of extreme drought, the emu can survive for several days without needing to drink water, adapting physiologically to the arid conditions of the desert. But the most special and touching aspect of the emu is the role of males in parental care of the chicks, a rare and admirable characteristic in the animal world. After the female lays large, dark green eggs, the male assumes full responsibility for incubating them for about 8 weeks. During this time, he hardly leaves the nest, does not drink, and rarely eats, surviving on his fat reserves. When the eggs finally hatch, the male emu becomes a dedicated, music, and protective father, guiding his striped chicks through the difficult first months of life, teaching them to feed and defending them from threats. That is a sacred mission that nature entrusted to them, ensuring that the next, music, generation grows strong and adapts to the arid Australian terrain. Underground paths and mounds of earth begin to appear in the landscape, the work of the tireless architect, the wombat. Contrary to the kinetic energy of the emu or kangaroo, the wombat is a master of patience, brute force, and persistence underground. With a robust, compact, barrel-shaped body and thick brown or gray fur, the wombat generally weighs between 44 and 77 pounds and measures from 27.6 to 47.2 inches in length. They mainly inhabit arid regions, shrub forests, music, and mountainous areas. With strong front claws designed for digging in GT, music, in GT, and short but very powerful legs, the wombat possesses an impressive ability to move earth. It alone builds complex, extensive, and resistant, music, tunnel systems that can reach up to 9.8 feet deep and 98.4 feet long, creating true underground cities. These burrows are not only thermal refuges, protecting it from extreme heat during the day and keeping it warm at night, but also serve as impregnable, music, fortresses against predators like dingoes. In this arid and resource-poor environment, the wombat developed an efficient capacity for food consumption and digestion. With a slow and long digestive system of about 32.8 feet, it manages to maximally absorb nutrients and water, music, from the simplest and most fibrous foods. Its diet consists mainly of tough grass roots and shrubs, music, types of dry food with little water. A wombat can survive many days without drinking liquid water, as it withdraws most moisture directly from the food it ingests, an impressive survival skill in a region where water is a scarce luxury. These underground architects play a crucial and unnoticed role in preserving Australia's biodiversity. The deep and cool burrows they dig frequently serve as vital refuge for many other smaller species, such as wallabies, reptiles, and small mammals, protecting them from both extreme weather conditions and devastating bushfires that sweep the surface. Constant excavation by wombats also improves soil fertility and aeration, promoting plant growth even in arid environments. Additionally, by feeding on grass and roots, they help control vegetation, maintaining natural balance and reducing fuel loads for bushfires. Lush and aromatic eucalyptus forests emerge before us, a unique, music, and indispensable symbol of the Australian continent's landscape. These forests extend almost endlessly, covering about 78% of Australia's music total forest area, releasing a faint scent of essential oils and softening the atmosphere around. This is the exclusive home of approximately 80,000 to 100,000 koalas, the most famous, charismatic, and adorable animals of this land. With its slow way of moving, its small and lazy eyes, and its soft and rounded body, the koala seems to embody all the peace and tranquility that nature granted it. This characteristic marsupial, found only in Australia, spends most of the day sleeping or resting, about 18 to 20 hours daily, due to its special and restrictive diet based on eucalyptus leaves. These leaves are fibrous, contain potent natural toxins, and have very little nutritional value, which would deter any other herbivorous animal. But the creator endowed the koala with a unique and specialized digestive system to face this biological challenge. They evolved with an unusually long cecum of up to 6.6 feet in length that allows fermenting and processing toxins, helping their body detoxify leaves in GT, music, in GT, and absorb minimal nutrients and energy from this difficult diet. The secret behind the calm, sleepy, and slow lifestyle of The secret behind the calm, sleepy, and slow lifestyle of the koala is then revealed, is a physiological necessity. They save energy to the maximum by limiting their movements, surviving on the meager nutrition provided by their specialized diet. Satisfied with the little it was given, the koala lives unconcerned high up in its arboreal abode, rarely, music, coming down to the ground. In full harmony with its habitat, the koala survives in a quiet, humble way, satisfied with enough. However, its home in the trees is not always safe, as flames from bushfires can consume everything around it quickly. God always has a special plan for every creature under the sky, and amidst nature's adversities, the koala lives in harmony, existing as part of a perfect work he designed. In the serenity of the eucalyptus forest, the koala is more than a tourist symbol of Australia. It represents patience, adaptation, and gratitude for available resources, a silent lesson that nature offers us. In that same silent world of forests, one of Australia's most vibrant, noisy, and colorful birds stands out, the cockatoo. The environment seems to come alive instantly and become much brighter and more sonorous with its gregarious presence. They are frequently found among shrubs in urban areas and in coastal forests. Cockatoos are unmistakable with their impeccable white plumage, in the case of the sulfur-crested cockatoo, and a striking, mobile crest on the head that rises expressively whenever they are excited, curious, or alert. Cockatoos have a vibrant and beautiful appearance, but they are also famous worldwide for their exceptional intelligence and longevity. Cockatoos can live between 40 and 60 years in the wild and even longer in captivity, and reach up to 17.7 inches in length with a wingspan that can extend to 3.3 feet. They are capable of imitating sounds and words, learning from the environment by observing, and even solving complex problems creatively to obtain food. Living in large social flocks, cockatoos frequently gather atop trees, music, and sing in strident chorus at dawn and dusk. Their loud and harsh calls can be heard miles away, like shouts full of life resonating music in the Australian vastness. These sounds are not only forms of communication between them, but also an integral part of the ecosystem, alerting other species to aerial or terrestrial threats and maintaining natural balance. For Aboriginal peoples, the cockatoo is a sacred and close bird, present in many legends and rock art. It is said that music, its crest, is a symbol of spiritual connection with the divine, like natural crowns of light granted by the Creator. In traditional stories, the cockatoo frequently acts as an intelligent music messenger between heaven and earth. It brings warnings of changes or good omens, being a symbol of ancient wisdom and cunning that nature generously granted it. You will surely be surprised to know that this seemingly delicate bird possesses a formidable bite force of up to 350 pounds per square inch in its curved beak, comparable to that of a large dog. With its powerful beak, music, it breaks hard seed shells and wood with ease. Its agile and prehensile feet allow it to hold and manipulate food deftly, facilitating skillful, music, interaction with the hostile environment. The cockatoo's intelligence is not only the pride of Australian forests, but also a lesson in dexterity, adaptability, and noisy joy of nature, even in the face of rigorous life challenges. Let us now venture into the humid and ancient tropical rainforests of North Queensland, where dense humidity covers everything like a blanket and life thrives intensely in every green corner. Known as the green lung of the Australian continent, these forests harbor a diverse, ancient, and complex ecosystem that has remained almost unchanged for millions of years. In the grandiose symphony of the tropical rainforest, an imposing, colorful, and enigmatic creature stands out, the cassowary. A bird of ferocious prehistoric appearance full of mystery, the cassowary is one of the largest and heaviest birds in the world, capable of reaching up to 5.9 feet in height and weighing up to 132 pounds. With its thick black plumage that looks like hair, its vibrant blue and red neck, and a distinct bony crest, or casque, on top of the head, the cassowary looks like a creature straight out of the dinosaur era. That hard crest is not only a striking or decorative detail, but also an essential protection tool, helping to clear a path through thorny branches and dense shrubs in the jungle while running, as well as being a visual symbol of dominance in its wild environment. Despite music, its taciturn, solitary appearance and slow movements while searching for food, the cassowary can become extremely aggressive and fast when threatened or provoked. It is known and respected as one of the most dangerous birds in the world to humans and other animals. The cassowary can launch very powerful frontal kicks with its strong hind legs and use its sharp, dagger-like claws, especially the inner toe one measuring up to 4.7 inches, as a lethal defense weapon. Each accurate blow can cause severe or fatal injuries to any enemy or even careless people who get too close. Its majestic crest and sharp claws seem to be a defensive gift from the Creator, endowing this bird with strength and courage to protect its territory and its chicks. In the world of the cassowary, aggression is not just blind instinct, music, but a necessary strategy to defend its life and space. In the adverse and competitive conditions of the dense jungle, music, the cassowary also carries the vital ecological mission of regenerating and protecting the land it calls home. Its diet consists mainly of fallen fruits, including those with large and toxic seeds that other animals cannot consume or digest. When the cassowary swallows the fruit whole, the seed passes intact through its gentle digestive system and is deposited in a place distant from where it was ingested, music, wrapped in natural fertilizer. This helps spread and germinate rare plant species throughout the jungle. These dense tropical rainforests largely depend on the cassowary to maintain their botanical richness and diversity, as it acts as an irreplaceable natural gardener and forest planter. If the cassowary is the guardian of the green jungle on land, then the murky waters ahead are the undisputed domain of an even more fearsome and ancient creature. An immense, stealthy, and ruthless predator, capable of taking down any living being approaching the shore with a single bite. This is the territory of the saltwater crocodile, or salty, as locals call it. The saltwater crocodile is the supreme predator and largest reptile of the swamps, estuaries, music, and rivers of this tropical region. Measuring up to 23 feet in length and weighing over, 2,205 pounds, it remains motionless in the water or on the shore like a living statue or a floating log. But every muscle of its massive body is prepared and tense to explode into action in a fraction of a second. Music, in GT, this master of ambush and camouflage possesses infinite patience. It can wait hours, even days, observing patterns just for prey to approach a few feet closer to the water. Life around seems to stagnate under its gaze, and the calm surface of the water continues to attract unwary small animals and large mammals. Without a single sound, without a warning ripple, only its piercing eyes and nostrils poke out, awaiting the perfect moment. And then, in the blink of an eye, the saltwater crocodile launches out of the water with terrifying and explosive speed, opening its enormous, toothy jaws with a crushing bite force of up to 3,700 psi, the most powerful measured in the animal kingdom. It catches prey with absolute and deadly precision. The sound of impact is dry, violent, and decisive, and the prey, without time to react or escape, is dragged directly to the bottom of the river to be drowned, subjugated, and dominated in a brutal instant. Only in Australia and parts of Southeast Asia, the saltwater crocodile stands out for its unique physiological ability to live in both freshwater and saltwater environments, traveling from quiet inland rivers and swamps to open salty ocean waters. This unique ability for adaptation and osmoregulation makes it the absolute and omnipresent sovereign of all aquatic ecosystems, in the north of this country. Every place it passes through carries a somber, respectful, and threatening stillness. In the grand picture of creation, every being possesses a specific mission and role, even the most relentless and feared ones. The saltwater crocodile protects the natural cycle by maintaining ecological balance as a super predator. It controls the population of prey such as fish, birds, and mammals, preventing them from over-reproducing, eliminating the sick, and depleting the natural resources of the wetland. Dense ancient forests plunge into thick fog, and deep remote valleys are shrouded in shadows and moss. Its vegetarian diet consists mainly of grass leaves, stems, and various herbs, limited nutrient sources, but sufficient to survive on isolated islands. In environments with little available fresh water, the quokka is capable of going several days, even a month, without drinking liquid water, thanks to its physiological ability to extract and conserve moisture from the plant foods it consumes. A curious and surprising fact for you about its survival. Each reproductive cycle, the female quokka gives birth to a single immature joey. When the mother quokka is chased by predators and carries the joey in her pouch, she can, in a desperate act of survival, relax pouch muscles and drop it on the ground while fleeing. The fallen joey emits sounds, attracting immediate predator attention, allowing the mother, reproductively more valuable, a chance to escape and survive to reproduce another day. Do you know another animal also using such music, extreme strategies with their young to distract predators in mortal danger situations? Tell us in the comments your opinion on this harsh natural reality. The quokka's worldwide fame, thanks to selfies, music, with its unique smile, attracted a wave of visitors from all over the world to Rottnest Island to see it up close and take photos. However, that adorable and trusting appearance also serves as a reminder of its island habitat's fragility and vulnerability. Currently, quokka's music exist in viable numbers only on some protected islands along Australia's west coast and small mainland populations, with an estimated population of about 7,500 to 15,000 individuals. The small and isolated ecosystem the quokka depends on is undergoing gradual changes and tourism pressures that must be, music, managed carefully. Among Australia's music, crystal-clear lakes and winding tranquil rivers lies a landscape of peace, elegance, and grace in GT. Music, in GT, inhabited by a black beauty, the black swan, not the common white swan as in Europe. Music, in GT, the black swan, Cygnus atratus, is a large waterfowl with a wingspan of up to 6.6 music feet and about 3.9 to 4.6 feet in length. It stands out for music, its elegant and almost complete black plumage, white flight feathers visible only when flying, slender and very long S-shaped neck, and a vibrant bright red beak adorned with a white band near the tip. Despite the tranquility and beauty they exhibit gliding majestically through water, the black swan possesses a strong and aggressive protective instinct. They are one of the most territorial and defensive birds in breeding season. They do not hesitate to use robust wings and necks to strike and defend the nest from intruders or curious ones, even much larger species or humans. The black swan is famous for its incredible loyalty and romanticism. They generally form monogamous pairs for life, building together the large floating nest with grass, reeds, and shrubs on banks or islets, where they protect, music, and care for chick cygnets with shared dedication until ready to fly and live independently. With habits of feeding almost exclusively on aquatic grasses, algae, and roots by submerging its long neck, the black swan plays a vital and regulatory role in the Australian aquatic ecosystem, controlling aquatic vegetation density and helping maintain biological balance and habitat water quality. In this colorful and diverse world, we also find an introduced creature of vibrant fur, the red fox, scientifically known as Vulpes vulpes. Introduced to Australia by European settlers in the mid-19th century in music, for recreational hunting, the red fox quickly adapted and thrived explosively in this new ecosystem, music, without direct natural predators. With intense rusty red hair, a long bushy white-tipped tail like a brush, and a penetrating astute gaze, it has an appearance at once charming and deeply threatening to local fauna. Weighing between 9.9 and 19.2 pounds and measuring about 35.4 to 41.3 inches including tail, the red fox possesses a lethal combination of visual charm and ecological danger. The red fox is an extremely versatile and omnivorous predator, capable of consuming a wide range of foods, from small native mammals, birds, reptiles, and insects to fruits, garbage, and human food scraps in urban areas. In the fragile Australian ecosystem, which evolved without such placental predators, music, the red fox had and has a great and immense negative impact, representing a serious and direct extinction, music, threat for many native species of small marsupials and rodents having no defenses against it. It hunts mainly at night with stealth and cunning. Welcome to the island of Tasmania, an isolated and wild land south of the Australian continent. Sharp rocky mountains, rushing cold rivers, and vast swamps make this place at once a pristine wild paradise and a challenging labyrinth. In the cold, windy, and humid atmosphere, Nature seems to challenge any creature daring to step here, transforming Tasmania into a world almost unattainable and harsh for human beings. And no one understands this better or adapts better than the Tasmanian devil, a true tenacious survivor in the menacing beauty of the southern land. Screaming, in GT. The Tasmanian devil, also scientifically known as Sarcophilus harrisii, is the world's largest living carnivorous marsupial and a vibrant, fighting symbol of this land. Although weighing just between 13 and 18 pounds and being about 23.6 inches long, it is famous and feared for its aggressive temperament and its terrifying guttural scream echoing through forests at night. Screaming, in GT. It lives up to the name nature and early settlers gave it, being the true sonic terror of Tasmania. Unmistakable in appearance, it possesses a robust, compact, and muscular body, black fur with white marks on the chest, keen smell with a range of up to 0.6 miles to detect carrion, and remarkable and noisy ferocity in search of food and defense. Pups manage to climb trees agilely, but that becomes harder as they grow and become heavier. Screaming, in GT. A fact that certainly surprises us about their social behavior is that adults can, in cases of extreme hunger or competition, devour weaker or unrelated pups. Screaming, in GT. Therefore, climbing ability can be a vital adaptation for young ones to escape cannibalism. The Tasmanian devil also knows how to swim well and has been seen crossing cold rivers up to 164 feet wide, great skill and versatility. That is an opportunistic, predatory, and scavenging species that hunts and searches for food at dusk and during dawn, spending the day hidden in dense bushes or underground burrows. The Tasmanian devil possesses powerful teeth and a special, massive mandibular muscle structure, allowing a disproportionately strong bite of up to 553 N, screaming, in GT. This crushing force is sufficient to break large bones and consume prey entirely, including skin, fur, music, and large carcasses, leaving no waste. Thanks to this cleaning ability, music, the Tasmanian devil is the essential natural garbage collector, or cleaner, of Tasmania's ecosystem. Music. By consuming carcasses quickly and preventing the spread of diseases and pests originating from decomposing remains, such as fly larvae, it maintains the island's ecological and sanitary balance. This role helps control pathogen dissemination and protect environmental resources from excessive growth of harmful bacteria and insects. The Tasmanian devil is a unique and, music, iconic symbol of the island of Tasmania, with its image present in logos of various organizations, sports teams, and products linked to that region. More than just a native creature, the Tasmanian devil attracts visitors and curious people from all over the world, fascinated by its striking appearance, intense behavior, and survival story. Did you know that the famous spinning and destructive cartoon character from Looney Tunes, Taz, also bears the name and inspiration, though exaggerated, of the Tasmanian devil? Leaving behind the mysterious shadows and screams of Tasmania, our journey takes us to a completely different luminous and coastal world, Rottnest Island and the west coast of Australia. Crying, in GT. Here, rows of low green trees and fine white sand shining under the sun paint a landscape of pure tranquility and turquoise beauty. Amidst this paradisiacal beauty, a small, curious, and adorable creature catches the eye and heart of everyone, the quokka. Popularly known as the happiest animal in the world due to its facial expression, music, the quokka is a small macropod with a height between 15.7 and 21.3 inches and a light weight of approximately 5.5 to 11 pounds. It is famous worldwide for its natural and permanent smile, a result of the anatomical structure of its jaw and mouth, giving it an always cheerful, friendly, and happy expression before cameras. Although resembling a miniature kangaroo, the quokka manages to climb small trees and shrubs up to 4.9 feet to reach fresh leaves. Its rough and dense fur has a grayish-brown color, fading to a lighter yellowish-brown tone underneath. The quokka is a mainly nocturnal or crepuscular animal. During the heat of the day, it sleeps and rests among music, dense Acanthocarpus praesee plants, using these plants' thorns as effective protection and refuge against predators and the sun. Even inhabiting arid regions with limited music resources, this small marsupial adapts extraordinarily. Music, in GT, direct human action degraded fragile ecosystems in GT, music, in GT, through massive deforestation for agriculture, urban and infrastructure construction, and natural resource mining. In New South Wales state, about 19 million acres of native forest were destroyed or significantly altered, in GT, music, in GT, eliminating essential habitat for various species like emu, koala, and wombat. Human invasion of natural habitats forces wild animals to seek new areas near cities, increasing conflicts with humans, music, and frequently resulting in tragic accidents like kangaroo and wombat road kills or control hunting to protect agricultural lands and crops. Illegal wildlife trafficking gravely threatens the rarest and most sought-after native species. This illicit activity is estimated to generate about $23 billion per year globally, and Australia, with its unique fauna, is no exception to this looting. Charismatic species like rare reptiles, birds like black cockatoos and quokkas, and even saltwater crocodile-derived products are being traded on the international black market, mainly by collectors, music, or for skins and parts. This leads to wild population reduction and decreases vital species genetic diversity, making them more vulnerable to diseases and future environmental threats. Introduced or emerging diseases are also a serious and growing concern. Groaning, in GT. The Tasmanian devil was and remains gravely affected by devil facial tumor disease, DFTD, a contagious and deadly cancer spreading by direct, music, contact during fights and bites. This terrible disease reduced the wild Tasmanian devil population by 80% in a few decades, placing the species on the brink of extinction in its own home. Groaning, in GT. Other species like koalas also suffer greatly with diseases like chlamydia, causing infertility, blindness, and infections, drastically decreasing reproductive capacity and long-term survival. Crying, in GT. Our collective mission is not only protecting these precious animals for their intrinsic value, but also preserving an irreplaceable part of Australia's soul and identity. Currently, Australia possesses over 500 conservation areas and national parks, covering about 19.75% of national land territory. These sanctuary places legally protect species against hunting and habitat loss. Some important and vast reserves, like Kakadu National Park in tropical North Australia, harbor diverse wild species and cultural landscapes, including saltwater crocodiles and millions of birds. The Blue Mountains Reserve in New South Wales is one of the remnant and crucial habitats for koalas, wombats, and many other marsupials and birds. Thanks to these intensive conservation science and protection efforts, many species are slowly recovering in numbers, as a form of rebirth and hope nature generously offers with resilience, love, and compassion for wildlife. The Save the Tasmanian Devil project was successfully implemented to combat facial cancer. Thanks to God and science, the project managed music to isolate and captive breed over 700 healthy and disease-free Tasmanian devils in GT, music, in GT, as an insurance population, keeping them in safe areas or sanctuary islands. They are protected from threats, awaiting the day they can safely repopulate the Tasmanian wild again. Music, in GT. The Koala Ark Conservation Project and similar ones have already planted over 1 million food and shelter eucalyptus trees, helping restore degraded habitat and providing a healthy, connected environment for about 20,000 koalas and other species. Promoting preservation awareness and respect in the local and global community is also a powerful way to demonstrate reverence for nature. Programs like Adopt a Koala allow individuals anywhere to contribute financially and emotionally to conservation, acting as a prayer and concrete help gesture to protect the precious biodiversity gifts God gave us. If you already had the unique opportunity to visit and marvel at the wild and grandiose beauty of Australia, music, share your story and memories in the comments. Your personal experience will be a source of inspiration and motivation for others, music, and for continuous nature and rare animal conservation efforts, helping preserve this beautiful and unique blue planet for future generations. Don't forget, music, to like, subscribe to the channel to support our educational content, and activate the notification bell to follow the next incredible discovery adventures with us. Or you can also continue following the dramatic survival journeys of wild animals in other world corners, like in the wild Kalahari, the fight for survival in the relentless desert, and Wild Turkey, a journey through the wild kingdom between continents.